Welcome everyone. Today we have a very special and also important merchant guild guide. In this video, we'll focus on three parts. The first part will focus on why the merchant guide will be good for you, no matter if you're in the merchant guild or in the Circle of Fortune. On the second part, I'll teach you guys the basics, the tricks, and also ways of leveling up with the merchant guild, and also how to best use of that. And finally, on the third part, I'll teach you guys the market making strategies and also gold strategies with different examples. So notice I have listed a lot of items, and over here while my friend was making 150 million gold with the marketplace. So I want to be demonstrating to you guys that you can be selling a lot of items through idols, through listing different sets, and also you can see in my game, I was selling some of the daggers for close to 500,000, and also I was selling idols for 500,000 as well. So there's a number of ways of making gold in the marketplace, and I really want to go through this video with you guys with some live examples. So coming over to our first part of the video. Now you might be wondering, why would you want to play the Merchant Guild when you're already rank 10 or really high rank with the Circle of Fortune? Well, looking over here, I'm already rank 10 with the Circle of Fortune, and I'm close to rank 8 with Merchant Guild because I was making too many guides. I just needed rank 8, and I'm happy. I'm almost there. So why would you want the Merchant Guild? And this is the most important part. The first thing is you can be making gold or spending gold with your Merchant Guild. And this allows you to buy a lot of items for pretty much 0 gold. So yes, if you guys haven't played the Merchant Guild, and if you haven't noticed it, there is a lot of items that people are selling for 0 gold. So let me show you guys a basic search. And let's say if I go for unique items. A lot of unique items are listed for 0 gold, and this can be 1, 2 legendary potential. And sometimes if you're looking for items, all you need is favors, and sometimes even 3 legendary potential items are selling for 0 gold. So what that means is you can be picking up some really nice items for a certain build at almost minimum cost. And this actually makes transitioning into a new build super cheap and also super quickly. So I'll be providing you guys with an example of a previous Falconer build, which is incredibly good and also deals a lot of damage with over 500 to 900 corruption setup that only costs close to 2 million gold buying those items on the Merchant Guild. And this particular highlight, together with the ability to buy tier 6 and so tier 7 Exalted items, which can be crafted onto those pretty much free unique items, will allow you to transition into your build and also to try different new setups super fast. So if you're planning to play as a new character, coming over to the Merchant Guild, getting to rank 3 or rank 6 will be super quickly and also super rewarding. And this also allows you to make tons of gold on the second part, which I'll explain. Now, of course, guys, there may be the case that you have been playing on the Circle of Fortune for a long time, and your items are already in the Circle of Fortune, and it can be a little harder to swap. So this is why I recommend trying the Merchant Guild on the alt or second account, or second character. But if you're planning to swap into the Merchant Guild, even buy items which are 1 to 2 legendary potential, and also buy Exalted item with tier 6 or tier 7 and crafting those, that is still quite cheap if you plan to transition with your main character. So here, let's come over to one of the examples. If you haven't seen our Explosion Falconer trap build, this is a great build. Now what I do is I also have the links available for you guys to have a look. This build is flashing across the screen, dealing tons of damage AoE, and it's one of the best glass cannon build to be farming for higher corruptions and also farming for the arena. Now if you're following any of our build and looking at the builder's guide, you can see that we'll be using a number of unique items for this build. So if you look closely, 2 legendary potential unique items for this breaker build cost 0. And the 1 legendary potential weapon will cost close to 80,000 each. You just need the 2 of those. The build will require a boots, a belt, a relic, and also some rings and also amulets. Together with the entire set, if you're not looking towards to buying the belt, you're actually looking at less than 1 million gold to get the entire set. And if you're looking to buy the belt, well, if you get the legendary belt, people are selling for really cheap. But if you can't get the legendary belt, if you're just getting the normal unique belt, the belt is the most rare item for the set, and this costs close to 1 million gold. So together, to have the entire set that can push to 500 corruption if you craft correctly, this will cost close to 2 million gold. And this makes making a new build in the Merchant Guild super easy. Now if I was to farm for those items directly using Circle of Fortune and also Prophecies, it might take me anywhere from 3 to 4 days just because some of those belts and also items can be super rare, and it's also very random to get a good roll on those. So my biggest takeaway for the Merchant Guild is that it is super fast to start and also have decent gears with the Merchant Guild. This is why most of the top leaderboard players, other than the streamers, who initially thought the Circle of Fortune was really good, right? The top leaderboard players are always going for the Merchant Guild to allow them to progress, to learn to sell and also trade items, and eventually getting 3 to 4 LP items. If you have been following our Marksman Guide, my friend was getting a lot of those great items simply because he's in the Merchant Guild, and this allows him to transition his items into 3 to 4 LP items and also take advantage of the vast variety of items that is offered by other players. By farming items and also gold, he can then exchange into some top endgame items, which can be very hard to be farmed with Circle of Fortune. Now, if you guys haven't joined the Merchant Guild, it only takes about 40 to 30 minutes to get the Merchant Guild to rank 3. If you're just playing with friends or maybe in the arenas, they're power leveling for you. And to get to rank 6, it takes a few hours if you play in the Monolith. Now, if you are leveling by yourself, this can take a little bit longer. But regardless, you can directly go into the Merchant Guild right at the first turn. And this will allow you to go quickly into rank 3 to be getting a lot of unique items to start up any build. Now, of course, guys, one of the biggest highlights for the Merchant Guild is that the ability to sell the right items using correct filters. So this is a screenshot my friend shot off to me a while ago. He was making so much gold with the Merchant Guild. He was getting 1 red ring, getting a lot of good items to be sold, and he was 150 million gold with the Merchant Guild. During that time, I was close to 2 million gold, and I was really jelly of him. This is why I was like, okay, I need to make a Merchant Guild guide to teach everyone, and this way everyone can benefit trying different factions and getting the most out of it. Because with this amount of gold, my friend was able to build several in-game builds and also have a great time playing a variety of different setup, different class in the game. Now, I also have other friend who has gotten 4 legendary potential unique items. And if you guys don't believe me, we also have a market section over here on the Last Epoch Discord. You can see some friends are selling red rings, some other friends are showing off with 4 legendary potential daggers. And they also have some really good items that they found. So the Merchant Guild can be a really good way for you to progress greatly into the game. Just finding one of those epic items and selling for tons of gold will give you unlock any potential to play multiple in-game builds. So now coming over to the second part. Now that I think I tried my best to convince you to try the Merchant Guild and why is it so good, the second part is I want to explain the basics of the Merchant Guild to you guys. So firstly, what item can be sold and what items can't be sold. Item that is dropped while you're playing the Circle of Fortune characters cannot be sold. So here I have multiple Exalted type with items that says cannot be traded. Those items are all tier 7 FX items that I was planning to sell. But any item that you loot as the Circle of Fortune players, they cannot be sold. Regardless if they have the mark of the ranks for the Circle of Fortune or not, those cannot be sold. So this is important, guys. If you want to sell any items, you have to be playing a character that is in the Merchant Guild while those items are dropped. Of course, you can still trade those items with your friend if you have the gifting system, and I was lucky enough to get one with Raw NZ. Those are really rare. We'll talk about this in the next video. Now, the second thing you want to notice is items bought from the market, items you buy from the Merchant Guild cannot be resold. So what that means is, so let's say I'll try to find an item that I bought from the market over here. So this is one of those. I bought this helmet from the market, and right when I bought it, it will show rank 3 as Merchant Guild over here as a tag. Those items cannot be sold, so you cannot buy items from the market and try to resell those items. It's a good system to avoid flipping. Now finally, I forgot to mention that you can be gambling with Merchant Guild, which I will be touching up on this as you gain more favors. So here, as you gamble the items on the Merchant Guild, those items that you gamble cannot be sold. So let me show you one of those items that you can sell. So here are some items I was able to loot on my rogue and also on different classes that also have tier 7 stats. So those are some of the items I want to use examples on the third part. Notice that this doesn't say it can't be traded, while this glove says it cannot be traded under the level requirement. So items like those that you drop while playing Merchant Guild can be sold. I'll teach you guys how to make tons of gold with those items. Now this might seem to be a massive drawback with a Merchant Guild with so many limitations on what you can sell and what you can trade. And there's also limitations of when you can buy certain items, right? So notice here I can't still buy all the unique items. I can buy most exalted items, I can buy unique weapons with legendary potential, but I can't buy armor pieces and also amulets well before getting to rank 8. But one biggest feature is you can be selling any tradable items at any time. So you can't buy items because you're limited by the Merchant Guild and also the rankings, but you can sell items at any time. So whenever you get a great item and you sell those items, even if you're lower ranking in the Merchant Guild, you can still make tons of gold. And this also takes us to the next part. How do you earn favors fast? Well, similar to the Circle of Fortune, you'll be earning favors by killing enemies and completing quests. Most of the case, you'll be killing enemies in the highest experience multipliers in the corruption zone. And this will also help you as you spend your favors. There are multiple ways to spend your favors. One of the ways is actually selling items for zero cost. So a lot of players were selling items, as we demonstrated earlier. If you come over to the merchants over here, a lot of players were just selling items with no cost. And this means as long as they listed those items over here and they sell them, here are listed quite a few items too. If you list those items and start selling them, notice that you don't have to put cost. And sometimes players will be buying those items for 0 gold. And it doesn't matter if they buy or not, as long as you list those items, you would have gained your favors towards Merchant Guild. Now, of course, guys, there's another way to rank up fast with Merchant Guild, and that is actually to gamble and also spend your favors with the Merchant Guild NPC. I'll do a live example over here. Usually I like to gamble for boots, and this, notice I'm on 16,000 favors, and here I am 200,000 close to rank up, or 210,000. So here, if I do this, and I buy a pair of boots, and the extra rolls, I got a rare item, but that's not great. Usually I get exalted. So the gamble items cannot be sold. And here, I'll just show you guys, my favors went down by 4,000, right? But over here, my actual reputation went up by 8,000. So by spending your favors, you're getting double amount of reputation this way. So you can be saving favors to buy and also sell items. The moment you list items, the moment you buy items, favor will be spent, converting into reputation. You can also directly be gambling for items, and this will push you forward with your favors and giving you some items for your early and also mid-game. Now over here, I'll briefly go through the interface and also how to buy cheaper items, and then we'll focus on how to trade and also how to make gold with the next part. So how do you buy cheaper items? Well, firstly, know what you want to get. Let's say if I want the daggers for my marksman, and yes, I do apologize, those daggers went really high inflated. So if I want my blast daggers and I come over here, so what you do is you come to the daggers NPC. So depending on the item type, you want to come to different type of NPCs. I'll come to the dagger NPC, I'll go to the more section and I'll select manually the name of the dagger I wanted. And it's my blast daggers, right? And then if I search this way, it will show me the newest daggers. And then I want to do the cheapest daggers. And notice that this dagger is actually selling for 0 gold. I just have to spend the favors, take the dagger for free. Now that I search the daggers for the lowest price, I can also add in additional filters. Let's say if I want 0 legendary potential items, because my rank is only rank 3, I can't afford those. I will have the maximum legendary potential to 0, and this way I will see the cheapest daggers at 0 legendary potential, because I need rank 6 to be getting higher legendary potential items. But now that I want to find higher legendary potential, I can change this one to 1-1. You can see those daggers are 40,000. And if I go 2-2, these daggers will be a little more expensive. The market price is really high for those daggers after 2 legendary potential. So this way, you can effectively filter and also look for items you want to buy and also want to sell. And this will allow you to buy cheaper items. Now let's come over to a third part. How do you make gold with the Merchant Guild? Well, I have listed a number of things that my friends and myself are making lots of gold. So one is actually selling lots of idols. You can see this is a screenshot of my friend at the start of the Merchant Guild. He was not ranked 10 yet, and he had over hundreds and thousands of favors. And he was selling so many idols, he was making 1, 2, 3 million gold a day. And if you're briefly looking into this particular screenshot of the idols, there's a lot of idols. He was selling so many different items, and even though those items are not giving him massive amount of gold, it's 30,000, 20,000, 50,000. There's a lot of good items he was selling, and you know, this one sells for 100,000, this one sells for 100,000. And just to show you guys myself in the game, if you find the right idols, this will allow you to sell for a lot of gold. So here, this idol sold for 500,000 gold, and some of those other idols are selling for 70,000, 20,000 gold. So as a general summary guys, idols that rolls highly with HP, higher maximum resistance, some idols with armor, idols with close to maximum rolls can be selling for a lot of gold. Similarly, 0 legendary potential items can be selling for great amount of gold. So here I'll show you guys, I was selling my blast daggers, and notice that some blast daggers are selling for 30,000, and this blast dagger with 0 legendary potential sold for 400,000. So even though some items are not, legendary potential, because players will want to start with those items, they still sell for a lot of gold. Now after that, 1 legendary potential item don't really sell for lots of gold. It goes into 2 legendary potential and also goes further. Some rare items can sell for a lot of gold. I'm planning to make a list for you guys to see which of the rare unique items, even with 1 legendary potential, sells for over 1 million gold. Now if you do have exalted items combined with tier 7 and also tier 6 affixes, crafted tier 7 affix items, or tier 7 affix items with a good base, those can sell for a lot of gold. Now on the topic of selling items with gold, I also want to mention how you can be farming items with gold. So briefly touch about on this. If you guys are really interested, I'll make another market guide and also a merchant guild filter, which include all of those great items I listed over there. So whenever those items pop up, you keep it, you sell those for gold. It is still a work in progress, and once this one is ready, I'll update to you guys on the future video. So on the topic of how do you farm for gold, well, the best ways I have discovered to be farming for gold, and this is actually a hidden secret, I should not be sharing this one. So here you can be farming on the Bloodthirst and also Death particular timeline. Now my Necromancer haven't unlocked this one, but let me show you guys why you want to be farming on that timeline. That timeline drops chest. This timeline also drops gloves and also boots. So this was the previous setup for the warding build that we're using, and a lot of other builds use this particular setup. So if you find 1 LP on the boots, if you find 1 LP on the gloves, it's not bad. And if you can find 2 LP on the chairs, the boots, and also the gloves, you make tons of gold. And this is how players were farming for a certain timeline with higher corruption and also different monolith logic and also strategies to get tons of gold for the merchant guild. Now again guys, this can be a little long video if I go too deep into the gold making, and the future videos, if you guys like this video, I'll be making a detailed guide how to make gold in the monolith and also what items sells the best in the current market. Now before I finish, just briefly touch up on strategies I've learned myself. I was mass listing items, so sometimes you don't have to price check everything. And here you can see I was selling items simply because I know most idols will sell for around 20,000 to like 50-70,000. So there's a lot of items I was testing, I was listing. And as long as you're not underselling items, it is okay. And yes, there's items I sold for 0 gold as well, just to try the system. So mass listing, as long as the favor cost is not too high, you can get your hands on it and understanding the most part of the system. After that, if you're looking for any unique items with 2+ legendary potential, and if those are the really rare ones, you can be selling for a lot of gold. And as we said earlier, for the idols guys, if those are close to maximum rolls and you look for the price of those, you can be listing those for tons of gold. Now before I finish, because we talk about a lot about idols, when you are selling and also filter for idols, you can see the idols over here, and you want to come over to the general idols. And here you can be listing. So let me show you guys one search bar I like to use. I go with health, and then I just go with health and also health, and then we search. Usually the health one sells the most, and notice that even the 2% one sells for 50,000. And if you have anything that's 3, 4 or 5%, it goes up to 500,000 or even a few million gold. So this is one of the most profiting idols that you can find to be selling for tons of gold. Now I mentioned I'll do a live example with you guys. So here we have boots, pants and also gloves I want to be listing. How do you want to sell items? So here, let's say if I'm trying to sell those pairs of gloves. And firstly, I'll be searching for the tier 7 FX, which is going to be armor. So here I'll go into more. I come over to armor, typing armor, and we'll be selecting armor. And then we go to tier 7. So if I just search for armor over here and also go for the lowest price, and then I want to filter my items using exalted items. And now notice most of those items don't sell for much, right? And then I'm going to search for the base of the gloves. The base of gloves are going to be mana and also mana regen. I don't think that's a good base too. But this is the method I do. So let's go with mana and also mana regen. We search again. and not much gold. So only, a few thousand gold for those ones. So this means it's probably not worth it to list those clubs. But let's try a different item. So if I try to list for this particular pair of chest, this chest has health percentage. And if I go with similar method, we go with health, search for health. The second one is a percentage one. And then I go tier 7 health percentage. Notice right away, a lot of those items start to sell for good gold, even though they have different bases. Now if I search for the base, which I know my base is going to be the crit. So if I search for crit and come over here, you can see the item I'm having is actually the dragon hide code. So once I search for the base, I'll show you the item again. So this is the dragon hide code base together with health percentage. Now if I search again with the right base and also FX, all of a sudden you can see this item can sell anywhere from 500,000 gold and also goes forward. And then finally, before I list my items, I look into the other stats and also I look into the fortune potential. So the fortune potential with this one is 42, which is pretty high. So you want to avoid those 0 potential ones. 42, and with maximum health potential, I can sell this one close to 400,000 or 500,000 with the chest over here. So for the future guys, if you want to be listing, if you want to be filtering items or price checking, you can be using those methods for those items. And firstly, you search the tier 7 FX, then you search the base, and then you look at the lowest price and check your own fortune potential. And this will give you the best method to be listing correctly to make tons of gold with any exalted items you find. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I have been working on this video for over several days, asking tons of friends, taking screenshots, and also learning from them. And if you like videos like this one, please let me know in the comments. It takes a long time to prepare for those, but I do want to make future videos to help you make lots of gold and also to make lots of great builds in the game this way. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next guide. Now before we finish, if you guys enjoy those last epoch guides, builds, and also tips, make sure you subscribe for more builds and also guides to come. And all of the notes will be available in the links below. I have collected tons of notes for last epoch as we make more guides, and links will be available for you guys to have a look and also, just to read up on the things we talk about in the video. So yes, please subscribe and also stay tuned for a lot more last epoch content. And if you guys have any tips, any advice on the game, I'm still quite new to the game, so feel free to let me know in the game or in Discord so we can be learning together with you guys with more experience.